my family has always been a Christian family, come from a Christian background. My mom and dad have been great parents my entire life. I'm just so involved in Christian leadership, always like part of the church, and always wanting me to be a part of the church. So it's just been such a blessing to have those parents in my life.
Yeah.
They got married super late. They were like 45, 46. So
Okay.
my parents are both pretty old. In that sense, don't hopefully they won't watch this, but they're
It's
both
the first 10 minutes.
yeah, they're both up there. And which is like was like a struggle because like it's harder for them to see, I guess, from the same viewpoint that I've seen, because we grew up in like two different lifetimes, I guess, in a way.
Yeah.
And so that's hard because like their version of high school is a lot different than my version of high school, and like our struggles now are a lot different than their struggles were. So that was definitely hard growing up. And also, my mom had 2 miscarriages before me, and then I was born, and then they wanted to adopt, and so we ended up adopting my little brother and 2 sisters, all from the same family. And I mean, it's such a blessing in a way, because they were like, I always wanted siblings. It was so fun having siblings when I was super young. I mean, when I was young. And then when they were around like 15, 16, like around there, it was like started going a little bit of a shift, like some past problems. Like they were all come from a background of like their parents were like not good to them along the way. Like my brother was with them for like his first 2 years of life, and like some of those situations where the mind doesn't remember but the body does.
Mm-hmm.
So like it knows what it's been through in a way.
Body keeps the score.
Yeah. So it's like, even though mentally he doesn't remember what actually happened when he was 1 to 2, he was like on the floor in diapers, like getting food thrown at him, like not taken care of really in any sense of way. And like his parents were drinking when they had him and stuff like that. So just so many different things from the beginning of his life. And so when he came to us, like there wasn't really much problems. Like there wasn't anything visible going on. But around 13, when like puberty starts hitting, is when like problems tend to surface from past trauma and past behavior from parents that were shown like against him, I guess. And so he started getting a lot of like anger, aggression, and laziness in some ways. Like definitely like he would sleep a lot and just become very like aggressive randomly for no reason. And so that was really hard, because it was like, this is my brother who I care about, but he sees me as like the bad guy now because like he thinks my parents care about him more, when in reality, like I feel the one who's like being ignored, because I've had these 3 younger siblings who've had problems their whole life, and I like got kind of pushed aside for it.
Yeah.
In a way, not that my parents don't like care about me. They're so involved and they care about me a lot.
How do you think that affected you?
I just think in a way, like when you include him and then my younger sister and then my youngest sister who had microcephaly, which is like a form of autism, there's just a lot of like focus needed to be on them, which like I didn't really notice how it was affecting me when I was younger. But later on in life, like high school times, like I realized like I didn't really talk to my dad about my problems. So like talking to men about my problems was definitely like difficult for me going into like Liberty, where I go to school now, and just like I guess the rest of life, it was hard to me for talking to guys about my problems in general, sometimes at all. And so like that was definitely difficult, because every time I ran to my problems, it was to my mom, or like a small conversation with my mom, stuff like that.
What do you think you were missing that, like, when you went to your mom, there's like a difference?
I just think it's like, my dad was a very anxious person, and I gained a lot of that anxiousness from him. I think it's just, we're a lot alike. And I just felt more of a comfort going to my mom than I did my dad when I was younger. Just because of like, I guess, the care that I saw in her when I was younger. And there were definitely times where I found care in my dad. It was less often as when I found it in my mom. It was like my mom was the one I went to with my problems, but I loved both of them the same.
Yeah.
It's like, so it was hard because like my mom doesn't have the best problem solving for a man in my life and my situations. They're different situations, like different problems.
Yeah.
And so it's just like, I wish I had gone to my dad more with my issues. And it wasn't really his fault. It was more my fault. Just like, I just felt like I wasn't looked at as much so I just didn't go to him with my problems.
Yeah.
And so it's just more time spent with my mom.
Do you think there's something specifically that you were like needing from your dad though, like that your mom just really couldn't?
I feel like it's just like that manly kind of influence that you have. Like I feel like the man is the leader of the household, and that was very prominent in my house. I mean, like it was very obvious that like my dad was the one who made like a lot of the final decisions with things. So I respected my dad and I respected my mom very fully.
Yeah.
And they worked together as a team all the time. And I just feel like there was a piece of that like part of me that I was missing, like how to be a man, really, like how to be like a good Christian leader of a household, that I was just missing. Like I saw it, but I never really learned anything from it, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So that was definitely like the biggest portion. I feel like just how to lead well, and how to navigate certain things in life was definitely a struggle, which I'll get more into as we go on. But that was definitely a big thing at the beginning. But with my siblings, like it became like my brother's problems became more and more like to the surface, rose to the surface more and more, and he ended up going to an anger management place, and then now he lives in Malibu, California, which is like crazy to me. But my mom, I mean, praise the Lord that my mom talks to him like almost every morning. They do like a Bible study together, and he like now works with kids who had the same problems he has. This was like 4 years ago he left. So
cool.
So he's really turned around, and I invited him to my wedding, which is in May, which I'll talk about more as well.
Yeah.
But no, it's just so great to see it turn around in his life for sure.
Would he take that anger out on you?
I think it was more of just like he was frustrated because he always thought that I got more than he did. But I think it was just this like kind of he needed someone to blame for his feelings type of situation. And I felt like I was a lot of that person to blame. And in reality, like I was very rarely the person to blame, but even my parents would blame me sometimes for it. And so I felt sometimes like I was in the wrong. But in reality, it was, there were of course there were times where I was in the wrong. I'm not going to say that. I was not perfect for sure.
Yeah.
But a lot of the times my brother would blame me for just like if I got a gift and he didn't one time, that would be like terrible for him. In reality, my parents gave him so much. I mean, like a place to live, like so many more things that like I didn't have the opportunity of getting.
Yeah.
And it's just like he always thought it was an unequal fix, and I think it was more just like he felt sad because he felt abandoned by his adopted his real parents, and then was adopted. So it's just like, and I'm the only one who was born of my parents. So it's just like I definitely understand where he might be coming from that, like just a sadness that would build inside.
Yeah.
That just responded with anger. So I forgive him for all of it, and that took me a while to figure out how to say that, because a lot of the times, I mean, he would get physical with me sometimes, so that was definitely hard to forgive him for that. But I think it's definitely like he's changed a lot, and I love him and I forgive him.
Have you guys connected over that?
We've been on the phone a few times. He came for winter break one time, so yeah, I've talked to him for sure. And I want him to be there at my wedding for sure. He's my brother, even though it's not by blood. Like we spend more time we've spent more time together than anybody in my entire life. So it's just like he's my brother.
Yeah.
So I want him to be there. But even though I don't see him much anymore, he's definitely still a part of my life.
Yeah.
And then my sister, she, or like my second, or the oldest girl in the family, she has like mixed personality disorder in that way, which also arose around 13, 14. My parents had a rough time.
Yeah.
And so you can see like the distraction of all of this going on kind of strayed away from me. And she just like was a hard time adapting into relationships with people. It was just a rough like situation. And she's at Liberty now, and she's doing a lot better with it. She's on medication, but there's just so many times where like my parents were freaking out because she was like in the middle of the street, like just something random would be going on with her. So that was definitely hard at the beginning for my parents, just navigating that. And then Lily, my other sister, who has microcephaly, like I said, like autism in a way, who is just so sweet, knows people better than any person I've ever met. She's so good with feelings, so good with emotions. She just like, when it comes to certain basic school stuff, there's challenges, but it's just one of those things where she's blessed in that area of feelings. So
yeah,
she does really well there. and she's doing so much better now. She's navigating life so much better than the doctors ever thought she was going to be able to. So
That's awesome.
that's just such a blessing. And then Adelaide, who was adopted most recently, who just turned 7, who is or will turn 7 in next month, and she was adopted as a heroin baby about 7 years ago, right when she was born, to be like part of our family. And that's a whole story on its own for sure. Definitely part of my testimony, but I'll speak into that more in a little bit. But that was definitely like a big moment in my life when she was adopted. And she just has like been a light. She's so fun, so goofy, no problems in her brain at all, which is just such a blessing. And that being a heroin baby, that was definitely a risk. Being on so many meds and just being in the hospital for so long, it was definitely really challenging at the beginning and scary at the beginning. But she's doing great now.
Yeah, that's awesome.
She's got a few like physical issues for sure, just with like her intestinal things just that have come up recently. But other than that, like praise the Lord that her brain is fully operational.
Yeah.
I pray that it stays that way for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that was a lot of like my just imagine that household,
Yeah.
just operating, I guess.
So
and
chaotic.
and so it just kind of caused me to like develop anxiety, and I always had ADHD since I was like super young. So that's just been something that I navigate with all of this. And so my anxiety is the big thing. It's just where like I tend to blame myself, this like self-destructive kind of personality, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And entering like middle school, I put a lot of back on my friends, like the friends that I had throughout school time, because it's just like I didn't have much family time going on. Like a lot of people had a lot of siblings, or just they hung out with their siblings all the time. That was just not something I did for a while, like especially entering middle and high school.
Yeah. Why was that?
Just because like we just weren't similar people. I feel like a lot of times I felt like they were angry with me all the time, and a lot of me wishes I just spent more time with them, because I think if I did, they wouldn't have been as angry with me as they were, or it's just like or blamed me for their problems as much as they did.
Yeah.
I mean, I praise the Lord now that I can call up my brother and have a great conversation with him. I praise the Lord that like my sister will text me and be like, hey, can like you pick me up and we can go bowling or something like that. Like I pray that, I'm so thankful that she does that.
Yeah.
And my other 2 sisters are great. I mean, they've always been great, had a great relationship with them. So it's just like such a blessing that all that happens now, which is never thought would ever happen, but it's just so amazing. And then, that was just like, it was just always hard because we just weren't the same people back then.
Yeah.
I think now that we've overcome a lot of those issues that we've gone through, it's been great, like just being able to re-meet these people, I guess.
Yeah.
But going into more of just like my story now that you've seen my background, it's been going into middle school was like the beginning of like a new world. Like I kind of entered middle school like I will never cuss, like I'll never do anything, like I was like never cuss kind of like level of like like a purity that I wanted to have. But I ended up like making friends with people who didn't cuss at the time, who like weren't big on that. They definitely weren't Christians. I had one friend who was a Christian and 2 who weren't. And then a few other guys who were just around every once in a while. But they were my friends all throughout middle school. And then by like, it's such a crazy twist. It's like I went to 6th grade, I went to LCA, and 7th grade I switched to a different public middle school with all of them. Met all of them. I was like, I'm never going to cuss. And then like 8th grade, I was like, okay, like we're still good. Like purity is there. But I got introduced to like porn around that time, around 7th or 8th grade. So I was definitely like, the first time that became like something I've seen in my life, and honestly, I didn't really feel much guilt to it because everybody talked about it like it was so normal.
Yeah.
It was such like a normalized thing. Even in middle school, it was so normalized. It's also when I was introduced to like vaping and stuff like that, because that's when like people were doing it in the bathroom, 8th grade bathroom for sure.
Yeah.
And then freshman year was like when it kind of just took a big dump on my life, because I entered freshman year just like going like, okay, like I don't care. Like, I just want to be different than I've always been. Like, I'm so stuck in this, like, position of, like, okay, I have the same friends that I've had forever, and I want to be, like, in the in crowd, I guess, is what I wanted. I wanted to be more popular, I guess is the best way of putting it.
Yeah.
And so, like, I'm a big believer. If you say yes to everything, you say no to nothing.
Yeah.
And so if you say yes to everything, you say no to nothing. Yeah, it was just like, that was one of those things to me that just kind of was stuck with me. And so, and that's just was my mindset, was just like, okay, whatever came up in front of me, like I'd say yes to it. And so it just became like the next thing, the next thing, the next thing. And eventually it just led to like, I was no longer like that same kid I was even in middle school. Just like cussing became prevalent in every conversation. Like it was almost impossible not to. And then I met like just porn became more like an everyday thing. And then I started like talking to more and more girls. Got friends with different kinds of guys where we'd go out and like it would be like Friday night drinking, Saturday night drinking, or like during the weekdays we'd go to like an abandoned building and climb it or something like that, which are honestly still things that is one thing I loved to do back then.
Yeah,
for sure. But it definitely begun this like adrenaline addiction for sure. And I lived this life of basically all 4 years of high school of just like nonstop satisfaction in every area of my mind. Where it's like, okay, adrenaline, satisfied immediately. Sex, satisfied immediately. Like every single time that I wanted something, I took it. Like I just got it.
Yeah.
And so like vaping, nicotine, got it. Like alcohol, got it. Weed, got it. Like it was just immediate like highs wherever I went. It was just satisfying. Like this dopamine rush, like overloading of dopamine wherever I went.
Yeah.
So like entering probably around senior year is when it got bad, when it became like a comfort to me, became like a need less than like a want. That's definitely when it got really hard. I'd say like nicotine was like I would buy vapes all the time. That was definitely consistent. Smoking weed was never really something I was deep in a problem with. Definitely did it. Never found anything wrong with it. Just wasn't something I enjoyed. Yeah. And then drinking was something that like I would do like really as often as I could because it's something I really enjoyed doing. And then we'd go on like different road trips or different things like that where we get the adrenaline pumping with different stuff like that. And then like I do like random hookups with girls at parties or stuff like that. Just things that I'm not proud of and definitely wish weren't part of my testimony, but I praise the Lord that like I've gone through those things and now been able to like share them with people and share them with you and share them on this podcast. So it's just like such an opportunity to like people to hear my story and be like, okay, well, like what steps were taken to like get out of that place. And now it's like entering senior year summer, I got into like a situationship with a girl like right after school ended on the summer. And just like that was like a hard one because it was like a kind of relationship where it's just like you're never something, but you're never like in a relationship, but you're always something. Like you're just always like a little something in between,
right? Like a situation,
yeah, like a situation, like very situationship. But it kind of hurt me because it was like she kind of acted like I was with her, and then acted like I wasn't, and it was just like this weird kind of like pull, which really got my headspace in just a terrible headspace for just relationships in general. And then she ended up getting a boyfriend, which crushed me, and then just basically like I didn't talk to her anymore. And then entering my first year at Liberty, my whole thought process was just like, okay, I don't care about anyone. I don't care about anything. I'm just going to go to school. I'm going to make a crap ton of money. And that's all I care about. That was really like my main focus was just money.
Yeah. You just kind of like hardened.
Yeah. Like my heart was hardened. Like everything was just like gone from my mind. I was like, okay, I'm going to find people who drink at Liberty. That's all I'm going to do. Yeah. And just like my mind was set on like just destruction pretty much.
Can we go back to the situationship real quick?
Yeah, sure.
When you look back now at that like relationship, like why do you think it ended up into like a situationship instead of like people like, because situationships are way more rampant now than they have ever been.
You're
like
right, yeah.
It's kind of a less common thing back in the day. Why do you think you ended up in that space where it was a situationship? Like what could have been done differently?
I think number one, when it comes to relationships, I think like equally yoked is important. Like if you're both in the Word and in the Spirit of God, I think that's just like I truly believe if you're not fully in a relationship with the Lord or ready to be in a relationship in general, like it's just not. I wouldn't even like try and look for that kind of scenario. Like wait for the Lord to give you an opportunity to be like, okay, God, like is this person even right for me? Because I wasn't with the Lord at that point in my life, and I just wasn't looking for a godly relationship. I wasn't looking for a relationship that was going to lead to marriage. It just wasn't what I was looking for.
Yeah.
And when you're not looking for that, you're gonna find something else. Like you're gonna find what you're looking for is, and it's the bad side of life. And this girl was not someone that I should have ever even been interested in reality. But I was interested in her because of what I was looking for. So I think like for people struggling with like finding, like getting out of that situationship, I know like so many guys at Liberty who are in different situationships or just trying to get out of a situationship. It's just like, wait for the Lord, like wait for the Lord. I mean, it's such an easy concept, but it's like, it's so flat out. Just like the Lord has a plan for every single one of us, and he knows what we're going to ask before we ask it. Like just give that to the Lord. And if like you feel like a girl's been brought into your life, like pray over it, and don't just pray over it and then forget about God. Like pray over it and just meditate on that emotion, and meditate on that girl, and just realize like, oh yeah, like if you feel like I'm not supposed to be, if you know I'm not supposed to be this girl, just let me know. Like put this out there, and like the Lord will lead you or lead you away. Like he will make sure that you know, like if that's the person you're supposed to be with or not. And like at that moment, I was never. I didn't care what the Lord's opinion was in anything.
Right.
I didn't pray over anything. So it's just like I was doing whatever I wanted. And that's why I felt so defeated leaving that situationship and felt so like just worldly oriented with money, with anything that I could like get my hands on monetarily. I just really was like obsessed with wanting to be the richest one, because it was just like something like, okay, everyone who didn't respect me will respect me if I have a lot of money.
Yeah.
That was a big emotion that I felt.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. With all the dopamine rush type of things that you were getting into, you're smoking weed and pornography and vaping, all that kind of stuff, partying. How do you think all of those things affected the mindset that you had when you got into college and you were like, my mindset now is I just want to get a lot of money and be like super respected? Do you think that had a part in playing why you ended up in that space?
I think that I wanted to be in that space. Like I wanted the mindset of money. But then when I got to Liberty and chose not to make friends and chose not to do anything else, the dopamine went from like here to like here. And so that dramatic drop of just what's the best way of like dopamine that was unrealistic. Like unrealistic dopamine levels were just like made me highly like feeling depressed. Like it just made me at that point of just like, okay, I feel nothing. Like I feel empty, to the point where I would like walk across a bridge every day, like thinking like, okay, like my life would be better if I just jumped off of it. Like my life would be better if just like I wasn't alive anymore. And I got to that point of just like, I went from such a high level of dopamine to just a negative level of dopamine where it just was defeating in my heart and in my like mind. So that was a lot. That was probably the hardest part of my life, was just being in those moments of those first few weeks of school.
So why do you think it dropped?
I think it's just because like I wasn't around friends. I wasn't around people who I could do fun stuff with. Like all my friends are out partying every night, continuing in that dopamine rush, and I'm getting no satisfaction every day. Like school, bed, school, bed, school. I wasn't even going to the gym at that time. So it was like the dopamine was nothing. Like I went from like unnatural amounts of dopamine to absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
And it was just like, when you do that, it just leads to a depressive arc in your brain. Like your brain doesn't realize like I just feel sad all the time because I'm not getting that dopamine level that I'm always getting.
Yeah.
And so it's just like a depressive state of just like monetary, just going through life. And that ended up leading me to a bad state of mind. Yeah, for sure. And then I ended up meeting like some really good people who definitely had some of the struggles of their own, who I'm still friends with now, but they had struggles of their own. Coming into a relationship. One of those people was my current fiance, Carissa. Was in that group of friends at the beginning of the year, who lived on my hall freshman year, and I got just with this group of people, her included, and we just became like, I honestly just put a lot of what I had done in high school into my relationship with them. Like I took pride in sex. I took pride in vaping. I still vaped the first few months of school. I didn't drink as much. I didn't smoke weed, but the nicotine was the hardest one for me. And then I would take these guys on trips. I'd take them cliff jumping, and just so many things at the beginning of the year that just kept that dopamine rush going, that addiction to adrenaline going. And I really didn't realize how addicted I was to adrenaline until I like tried to stop and like come out of that and got into a relationship with Chris, because it was just like so hard going from just consistent fun all the time to realizing like no, like the slow parts of life can be fun and they're supposed to be fun.
Yeah.
But your levels are just not used to that. Like they're not used to that moment.
Right.
And so like if that's like a problem, like that's definitely something that like you got to realize being in those slow moments of life. Yeah, they're not always going to be the most fun, but they can be so much more fun if you realize what you're so used to and what you've become addicted to. You don't even know what you're addicted to, really, in a way.
Yeah.
And so that was definitely something that became so prevalent for me of just like, okay, what do I do to get out of this situation? What not yet, like that's more down the line, but at this point it's just like I'm still in this like what's the next thing? Like what's the next like 5 a.m. trip? We're going out to like an abandoned building or something like that. Like just so many different things. We're just looking for that next thing.
Yeah.
And eventually it led to like we just got like more and more closer to failure, I guess, in a way. It was like you can kind of see this like almost a balloon blowing up and you feel like it's about to pop, but you're not really sure yet.
Yeah.
And we definitely got to that pop when it came to, we went to a Virginia Tech party, all of us, and we were like, we bought tons of alcohol. We were drinking like crazy. We went to a Halloween party. And it was just like, it was actually this time, it's so funny. It says this time 3 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was like, just stuck in that struggle of just like, okay, this is going to be awesome. Like I'm going to show them what like life is like on the other side, really, I guess.
Yeah.
And these people are at the point where their relationship with God wasn't 100% pure. So they were still susceptible to temptation in a higher level than I feel like people who, like right now, I feel like I'm at a point where like I could be tempted and say no to a lot. Mm-hmm. But they weren't at that point yet. I mean, we're all new. We're all freshmen. Including my fiance Carissa. This is about the same time we got into like a relationship too, like a situationship, I'd say, like just being in that moment of just like where physical pleasures were like the main focus and not really emotional pleasures.
Yeah.
Especially for me in my mind, because I was still kind of coming out of that situationship over the summer, just past relationships. I'm so used like to the addictiveness of that, of just girls alone. It was hard to readjust my brain basically.
Yeah.
And then we basically went to that party, got drunk, and then got a hotel there with like 14 of us. It was insane. And then we actually got back to school and we ended up getting caught for it. And that was when I was like, holy crap. And I just got like destroyed because it goes, almost everything we did was against the Liberty Way. Like we can't be like in a room like guys and girls. And we had like 14, both guys and girls all in this one room.
Yeah.
And then we were drinking, we were at a party. We like didn't sign out or anything like that. It was terrible.
Yeah.
So we had like all these different credits for it. And basically we all got sent in like one by one throughout the next like 3 weeks. At this point, the friend group kind of started dispersing because it was just like all of us kind of felt like we weren't gaining anything from each other, I guess, in a way.
Yeah.
So it was just a rough time for me, especially because I really didn't, I felt like it was my fault. And a lot of it was, I still believe it was. Like, I think that in that moment, I led these people to this point. I've led these people to failure. And it broke my heart hearing all of them call their parents and like tell them that they were doing these things that they've never done before or would never do. And so just like that was definitely breaking my heart. And I just like they made me go to like therapy. They made me go to like all these online classes and which was wild. Sorry, that was a weird noise. Sorry. Which is actually really helpful. The therapy was very, very helpful, talking to that guy at Liberty, which is such a great guy, such a great opportunity to be able to do that.
That's cool.
But
how do you think that helped you?
Just honestly, having somebody talk about your problems is so helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, it's such a different change. Like now I have such great friends that I can talk to about issues and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's just like, it's so relieving coming from a place of not ever sharing my emotions to being in a place of just being completely vulnerable. And I tried like counseling before, but the way it worked, it wasn't beneficial to me. But this guy who worked at Liberty, they don't get paid by person. They don't get paid by hour. They get paid salary. So it's just so nice. Like this guy he didn't really care how long we went. And he just wanted to sit with me and hear what I had to say, which was just so beneficial to me. Just having somebody to go to and like every week and talk to about my problems, talk to me about my feelings. It's just like, I'd break down in that room because it was just like so beneficial. So like if I definitely encourage, if there's not a mentor or somebody you can talk to in your life about your feelings, like So
Yeah.
beneficial.
That's
So
cool.
beneficial.
What do you think the relationship? You said you have friends now that you'd go to instead. Like, what do you think the difference is between those two? Are they kind of the same, or like, why would you decide not to go to a therapist and go to your buddies instead?
I think if you are someone who struggles with emotional vulnerability, then I think going to somebody who's a professional in it would be more beneficial at first. I think if you are somebody who is open to sharing emotions and have been doing that your whole life, then you can talk to your friends about it. I think it really depends on where you're at in life and where you're at in your emotional state. I feel like because a lot of guys have a hard time sharing emotions, and a lot of girls have a hard time sharing emotions. But it's different. It goes both ways. So I think just like if you're somebody who struggles with that, definitely see somebody who knows what they're talking about and knows how to like go through your emotions with you, and then open that up to talking with friends and people you trust. I think that's definitely, it can change the way you view your relationships with people for sure.
Yeah.
I think those people at the beginning of Liberty wasn't like my relationship revolved around the next adrenaline high with them. It wasn't like a deep connection. We could never talk about the Lord or anything like that. And so that was just like, if you don't have a deep connection with them, it's really hard to share your feelings with them. So that's number one. And then after that day, it was just like I spent like probably, like 2 weeks just like in my room, just like in self-pity, really, to be honest with you, of just like feeling crappy because I just put these guys in this position. And honestly, they reached out to me. They knocked on my door, and I just wouldn't answer. I just didn't care. I just couldn't hurt them again. I couldn't fathom hurting them again. Eventually, I got to the point where I just couldn't hold it back, and I just broke down, like just bawling, like. I went up and hugged one of my friends. So that was just like a really good moment. And from that point on, I really just didn't want to hurt other people anymore.
Yeah.
With things of my past and with things and mistakes that I've made. And that was really the start of a change. And when it came to, I quit vaping, quit drinking really. Didn't smoke, haven't smoked since actually. And then that was like just like a big cutoff really for a lot of things. I just couldn't, like, it was almost to the point where I didn't mind hurting myself, but now that I hurt others, it affected me, which was really like, I guess good. I'm so glad that day happened. It sucks that it happened, but so glad that it happened, because I just I don't think I would be the man I was today if I didn't go through that change, for sure.
Yeah.
And then this is around the time, like about probably a month later, I ended up starting a relationship with Carissa, dating her. And I still didn't have a great relationship with the Lord. Like, I knew I had to change my ways, but the Lord was still not involved yet, I guess.
Yeah.
And so, like, we were still doing things physically that like I wish we hadn't done. And so it's just like that was really a hard part of my life, because I still felt like the only way that I could love was through that, like through physical stuff, not through emotional stuff, because that's the only way I ever knew how to love when it came to relationships. So that was definitely difficult at the start of our relationship.
Why do you think you didn't have as much of an the emotional tools to be able to connect with somebody?
I just think in past relationships, because I had 2 girlfriends before her, and just like when I hung out with girls, the goal was always like to move forward in physical stuff. Like, it was almost always the goal. And so it was really hard switching my mindset to be like, okay, if this is somebody that I really want to spend time with, that I really want to get to know, that I really want to like maybe marry, like this needs to be somebody that I like commit to, not just physical stuff. Like, I need to commit emotionally to this person.
Yeah.
And a lot of that came from just taking away all the past things in my life, like deleting Instagram for a while, and just deleting Snapchat, just getting all these other girls out of my mind, really. Because I still had past situationships still in my mind, like the one from the summer, and just like past girlfriends that I had just were still running through my mind, because that's what I'm used to having. I'm like, I call it an addiction to variety. And it's just, you're addicted to the idea of other people. Like, you're addicted to like the vast like just group of women that you're around. 'Cause it's so easy to be like, go to the gym and like you see a pretty girl, like you want to go up and talk to her. Like, it's hard like to be in that mindset of like, okay, I'm with somebody. Like, I love one person. Like, that's hard to like get your mind to that point if you've been so surrounded by so many people your entire life, and your only goal was to like just get in someone's pants or move to the next step or just like get to that next, like get to third base. Really is all it was
Yeah.
for a long time. And so she's like getting to that point of like, okay, I want to be in an emotional relationship with this person.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the hardest switch for me at the beginning.
Why ditch the that where you had variety to go into a relationship with one person?
Well, after we dated for a month, well, honestly, the dating at the beginning, that first month, was honestly because just peer pressure from friends.
Yeah.
Was just like everybody saw us together. We were doing physical stuff already, so it's just like, why don't you just date? And I was like, yeah, that makes sense. That's worldly and makes sense. So
Yeah.
I was like, okay, let's do it. So we started dating, and like a month later, I just became filled with thoughts of other girls and other people in my mind. I just was like, okay, I don't really want to be dating anymore, but I don't want to break up with her. So I just kind of like pushed her away until eventually like she broke up with me. We kind of broke up with each other, but I think it was definitely her directed for sure. And so we broke up, and I just kind of like lost everybody at that point. Like it's just like I had spent so much time with her the last month that I kind of pushed friends away, and I kind of just lost a lot of just people in my life, really.
Yeah.
And so I just like spent the next 3 weeks just like in prayer, because I really like being away from her, being away from Carissa, and those 3 weeks was just like I didn't realize how hurt I was gonna feel. I was like devastated for those 3 weeks. I was like, why did I just leave this perfect person who has an amazing family, is trying to love the Lord and just doesn't, like, why don't I love that person? Why don't I want to be with that person?
Mm-hmm.
And so just I spent 3 weeks just, Lord, like, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? What do I do? And eventually, like, the Lord said to me, he's like, listen, you found somebody who, if you are willing to love me, you can love right. And I felt the Lord just say, like, you have to go get her. Like, you have to win this over. Like, you have to get her back. And literally right then and there, like, I got up. She was in Tennessee at the time with her aunt and uncle. And I drove, like, I called her, obviously, asked her parents if I could come. But I drove like 6 hours to Tennessee through the night just to get there and just hang out with her for like 3-day weekend. It was probably one of the best 3 weeks, 3 days of my life. I mean, it was just such a great time hanging out with her family. Such an amazing opportunity. Her 2 younger brothers and her parents, and all of her cousins. It was just so fun. It was such a great time. And then on the drive back, we actually ended up like I asked her like, do you want to start dating again? Like, do you? And so we like became, like, we started dating at that point on, and we've been dating ever since. Praise the Lord.
Yeah.
But
awesome.
that was become, like, I became the kind of person who just like, I was like, okay, Lord, like, I know this is the first time, like, you've given me an answer to my heart. Like, I know this is what I need to do. And I obeyed him, and I feel like I still obey him now in that way with her. And I just feel like she's definitely the person I want to spend the rest of my life with. Oh my gosh, she's amazing.
Congrats.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. It's just such a blessing for sure. And then we just spent like the 3 months just like growing in our relationship with each other and growing like together, learning like from the Lord together, just like kind of like we're still struggling with physical stuff, because at this point it's like I haven't really fully given my life away yet. It's just more of just like this kind of slow progression of like, okay, Lord, like, I hear what you're saying. Like, I've heard you now. Yeah. I want to learn more, but like my past addictions are still here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was definitely hard at the beginning. Those first, like, we spent 3 months at that point, but just growing in our relationship. And then we're on the way to a Sam Hunt concert, actually. Great concert that we wanted to go see.
Yeah.
And then she gets a call when you're about 10 minutes away from the stadium, or a text actually from her family group chat, just saying like, hey, please pray. Bobby, her little brother who's 11, like, is really hurt. Like, please pray for him. And she was just like, didn't think much of it, just more just like okay, that's weird. Like, I'll definitely want to pray. So we prayed in the car. And then we get to the Sam Hunt concert, and her mom calls her and is like, hey, you have to come right now. Like Bobby's really hurt. Like, we want you in Florida. And she starts like freaking out. Like, she like threw up in the trash can because of anxiety. It was just like really, really scary moment. And I'm thinking in my head, like, he's an 11-year-old boy. He probably like broke his arm. he's probably okay. Like that. I'm a positive thinker most of the time.
Yeah.
When it comes to stuff like that.
Best case scenario.
Yeah, best case scenario in my mind. So we rode with friends and they stayed for the concert. So we Ubered all the way back to Liberty, and about halfway through the drive, she gets a call from her dad, and just says Bobby's dead, like he passed away, and that was just one of like those moments where I just see in my head consistently, she was like bawling already, but at that moment she just kind of froze, and I really like didn't believe it. Like I was like there's no, like that's not true, there's no way. And just being in that moment, it was just like I've never been in a situation where that was possible. Like I never felt like okay, like what's going on, like why is this happening, like why, like what's going on. That's kind of just all I felt in that moment. And we ended up getting like back to my house. We're there for like 2 hours. We had a flight the next morning at like 2 a.m. Took the flight to Florida. Just met her family in the airport. I just remember seeing her parents and her little brother just in the airport, just like bawling their eyes out. And then just like you feel like there's a piece missing to that puzzle, and then you just see them connect and they're all hugging. And it's just like I never understood. I like in that moment I didn't understand why, because it was just like this perfect God-fearing family who just loved the Lord, and it was just like, why take a piece? Like, why, Lord, did you take a piece? Like this sweetest kid I've ever met who also loved the Lord, and just like why take him? Like, why not take somebody like me who just doesn't deserve to live anymore, doesn't deserve this life, doesn't deserve this family, doesn't deserve this girl. I just felt like why take somebody so perfect and so amazing? Not perfect, but so amazing. And that just really like affected me for a while, I guess. In those thoughts and in my moment. And that next week was just like probably one of the hardest weeks of my life, and definitely the hardest week of her life, is being there with her family and going to the funeral. And the funeral was like probably one of the most, it was the most impactful moment of my life. Just being there at the funeral, sitting front row, hearing all these stories about him, and like seeing her family up there front row, just hands in the air, worshiping the Lord. And something hit me there, just like seeing her dad just like praise the Lord at his son's funeral. It just shows the kind of father he was, and then it shows the kind of father who our God is, who that he can, like, if this is a human, a man who follows the Lord and loves his son and loves the Lord like this, like what kind of father is God? Like what kind of love can like our heavenly Father show us? Mm-hmm. If this worldly father has this much love for the Lord, has this much love for his son. I just think it's like, it was just such a great example of how to be a God-fearing man in that moment. And it was just like, I really saw that. I was like, that's who I want to be. Like that's the kind of love I want to have for the Lord. That's the kind of selflessness I want to have for the Lord. And from that point on, like, it was just like, I want to give everything to God. Like I want to give everything to like, I want to be on my knees kind of moment. Like this is like whatever I have, like I want it to go to him. And of course, like we came back to Liberty about 2 weeks later, and of course it was hard for the end of that semester for sure. Just like being at my house a lot of the time, just being with her, watching movies a lot, watching her like being in those struggles and stuff like that was really, really difficult for her. And it was just, it was, I didn't still understand at that point, because it's like God, why is this happening? Like I just still kind of like blamed. Like I almost wanted it to be like, if I could have traded my life for his, like I would do it in a heartbeat. And it's like God doesn't work that way, and I praise the Lord that he doesn't. But that was just like one of those times where it just felt so empty for a while. But I was with her, and my relationship grew with her for sure.
Why'd you feel such a strong like being like, I'm gonna trade my life? I would be willing to trade my life for this kid. Like, you kind of hardly like knew him basically because you and Alyssa were like just Carissa were still getting into this relationship, you know. So like, why do you think you had such a strong connection there and you were feeling that willingness just to be like, I would rather just trade my life?
Yeah. Well, I had hung out with him like 3 or 4 times for like a few weeks, but it was never, I never like grew that relationship really. I mean, I wish I spent more time with him now, but I'll spend eternity with him, so I'm not really too worried about it.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of it was more just guilt of feeling like I've lived such a terrible life. Like I've made so many mistakes. I've hurt so many people. And I've hurt this girl who I'm with like so many times over. And I think like just why, God, did you take somebody who is so pure of heart and is just sharing the Lord in his school and just like such a, like, not perfect, but just like great kid? Like, why take somebody like that when you could have taken me, who just doesn't deserve to live, who doesn't deserve to continue? And like, there were some times in my life where I felt like that. I think a lot of it was just guilt in my life, and seeing this family so hurt and just wanting to just fill that hole, just like seeing this person that I love hurt, just wanting to make her happy, I guess, was a big one.
Yeah.
Just to take that gap. And I know like she would still feel sad if like we switched, but I wish like a piece of me wishes like we could have. A piece of me wishes like I wish it was him. I mean, I wish it was me, not him. So it's just like hard at that point in my life, but I realized God has a specific plan, and I realized God has an idea of what, not an idea. He knows what he's doing. Like he is very, very involved in our lives, and he's in control. And
yeah,
I thank the Lord that he doesn't answer those prayers that I pray.
Yeah.
And he just says no to them.
Answers with a no.
Yeah, answers with a no. And I thank him for that, for sure. I thank him that he's showed me the value that I have now in my life, and the relationship that I have with Carissa that's blossomed so much over the last few years. But that summer was hard, and I still had struggles with lust, for sure. And then just the next few years, it was like, I'd say that like sophomore year was hard because it was just a lot of just me and her time. And she still would have consistent thing. I mean, it's an ongoing struggle that she will probably always struggle with for the rest of her life. Not probably, she will struggle with for the rest of her life. Because it's just when you lose somebody like that, somebody you love so much, your best friend, your brother, like that's going to affect you, especially her being the oldest sister and him being the youngest brother, just that like protective of just like how much you love somebody like that.
Yeah.
And of course, if I want to be a part of her family, like her parents are going to feel it like all the time. So it's an ongoing thing, but like I love her and I want to comfort her. I want to be there for her, and I wish I could take away that problem, but it's just one thing that I don't have power over to take away.
Yeah.
I can just make her feel happy in times where she feels sad. It's the best I can do. But our relationship grew stronger, and just like giving more and more of my life to the Lord and giving more of my struggle with lust to the Lord. At this point, I've like completely cut porn from my life, just like completely stayed away from that. Me and Chris started doing like a 30-day thing where we just deleted like social media completely, and I actually went for a lot longer because it just was so beneficial to me.
Yeah.
As that like kind of soft porn, which is like the idea of like smaller, like temptations, basically like an ad or like a Instagram post, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So just cutting that out of my life, which led usually to watching porn, just like was so good for me. And there were times where I would have to do stuff like, okay, don't take my phone to the bathroom with me, like leave my phone, like when I get in my bed, I leave my phone on the other side of the room, like just so many different things that I started off with. Now it's not really a struggle with me anymore. I praise the Lord for that. Definitely not something I could have done on my own, for sure.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I was in prayer so often about it. I mean, it's not something you can overcome on your own, for sure.
No.
And then later on, we still struggle with like sexual sin. Not usually like anything like sex or anything like that. It's just more of just like physical boundaries that we crossed with each other.
Yeah.
And so that was hard. Just getting through that and being in the, just feeling like so guilty afterwards, just feeling like, okay, why are we still doing this? We love the Lord. We're in a position where like we want to be closer to the Lord. We want to be closer to each other. Why do we still do this? And it's just really like, the truth is we just loved each other. We were at a point where it's just like our love was strong, and it's hard to not cross those physical boundaries with somebody you love.
Yeah.
And also it was still one of those things where it's just like my part of my brain chemistry was just like sex was locked in there. Like it was just in my brain consistently.
Yeah.
And so now I'd say that's my thing that I'm still overcoming. I'd say like we're engaged now. We got engaged 2 months ago, and I praise the Lord for that. That was amazing.
Congratulations.
It was so awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, that is awesome.
It was such an amazing time.
Did you do it before spring?
Yeah. Well, we married in spring though, so we married by spring.
Oh, okay.
Spring by spring.
All right, nice.
I did it this summer, like right before school started. So,
nice. Yeah. That's awesome.
It was such a amazing time. We did it in Florida, so it was just amazing. Where she's from.
That's cool. Nice.
Yeah. And then just I think when we got engaged, the enemy just came on like way harder.
Yeah.
In our relationship, because I think just like we've done something that we've made this commitment to be like commitment. We've committed to the commitment, really. Like,
right. Yeah.
And so, at that point, it's just the enemy was like just hard on my brain. Like I feel like I had overcome so many physical boundaries, so many physical sins in my life.
Yeah.
That now like the enemy's like, okay, how can I hit him next? I mean, he works like an army. He works like very much precise. He's got strategy. Yeah. To his attacks, and so just felt so many attacks in my mind. Mm-hmm. So many attacks of just like okay, what thoughts could I like? Just these thoughts of just like anything and everything that just drowned me, of like shame, of guilt, of lust, of just things that I struggle with daily that would eventually either lead me into a temptation that was strong and lead me into sin. And now it's like I like take captive your thoughts is such a real line. It's just so important. Yeah. Like being in prayer, of just being like, in Jesus' name, like take this thought away from me, take this fear away from me, take this idea of lust away from me. And just being in that mind, like going to the gym is like I'm consistently like just repenting, just like just like giving my life back to the Lord just as I'm in the gym, because it's just like there's so many things to look at, there's so much temptations to look at. Mm-hmm. I mean, especially at Liberty, like you're surrounded by so many pretty girls consistently all the time. It's just hard to be like, okay, God, like what, like keep my mind straight, keep my path straight in this moment, keep like my eyes straight. Like I mean, I love the I can't remember where it's at, but I mean, if your right hand causes you to sin, cut it off. If your right eye causes you to sin, gouge it out. It's just so like that hit me so hard when I realized like, okay, that is Lord just completely cutting off the idea of like that you can do this on your own, that you have any control over sin. Yeah. Really, it's like we don't have control over sin. I mean, he says take captive of what is it? Take captive of your sin. No, wait, what is it? Take captive of your thoughts, and then it was like I forgot. Oh, flee from sin. Yeah, just flee from sin completely. Yeah. And it's like it's such an interesting way of putting it. It's like he didn't say like, oh yeah, like go have one drink, but then like don't sin anymore. Like don't drink afterwards. Like no, flee from sin. Like flee from sin completely. Yeah. It's like flee from the things that has power over you. Mm-hmm. And like sin has power over us completely. And there are so many people who like if you don't struggle with drinking and you can have 2 drinks and be fine, like that, not get drunk, like that's a completely different scenario. But I think like when it comes to people, like if you're struggling with drinking, but you think all of a sudden that you've overcome it and you want to have 2 drinks at the bar with your friends who are alcoholics, like that's gonna go bad. That's like just one of those things where it's like you flee from the temptation. Don't flee from don't just be in that environment. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so a lot of us, it was like baby steps. It was like realizing, okay, God, like me and Carissa know, like if I show up to her house and like we're watching a movie alone on the couch, like that can lead to temptation. Like that can lead to us making out. That can lead to us like doing physical stuff. It's just like, okay, what can we do to like stop that? Okay, like when we watch movies, we're gonna have friends over. It's like, okay, like if I know if I go up to her room and like and in her bed with her, like that's gonna be leading to temptation. Like, okay, let's not do that anymore. Like I'm not gonna go upstairs anymore. Mm-hmm. Like these are things that like sound so like absurd for a relationship, but in reality, it's like this is what we need to be pure in the Lord. This is what we need to be pure in our relationship. And so it's just like taking that as like an idea of, are you willing to sacrifice these things to be a follower of the Lord and for eternity? Mm-hmm. or are you going to go into these things and sacrifice and sacrifice like eternity? Like, it's just, your idea needs to be, it's so not like, I'm making it sound easy, but it's so
Right.
so hard every day, and like we still fall short.
Yeah.
But it's just like, oh man, I can't even like put to words the struggle that it is.
Yeah. And you
But
got to
it's
have
so
just
worth
as
it.
much of like a mental awareness and like strategy as the enemy does against you. You know?
Yeah.
You're
I
like
agree.
kind of just avoiding all that, especially since you're already in a kind of a covenant in a way, because it's like you're engaged. So the enemy's just kind of like, well, you're kind of already like committed. So like you're getting married anyways. It like makes that, I'm sure, harder as well.
Oh my gosh, yeah. The enemy will put thoughts in your head all the time. Like, oh no, like it's okay. Like you guys are gonna get married. Like you're fine. And then like just so many thoughts that he just tries to shove on. And that's why I said it was so much harder when we got engaged, because it's like we've made this commitment now.
Right.
We're like locked in.
Yeah.
So it's like the enemy just throws everything he has at you, and
Right.
trying to get you convinced of anything else that he can put in your mind.
Yeah. We're just watching Ratatouille.
Yeah, like we're just watching a movie. Like, how could that be? Oh, I haven't seen her in a while. Like, we should just hang out. Like, it's
Yeah.
like so many different things that he can put in your head. And she's been gone these last week and a half, 2 weeks in India on a trip, missions trip with her family. And it's just, I realized how hard it was to that. Like, sometimes I would fall short with her, and the problem that I thought I had overcome with porn would like arise a little bit more. Like, I get a little bit more tempted at night, and I realize, okay, Lord, like, please keep this from me. And I realized, like, okay, I'm still addicted to like satisfying and like in this way, like satisfaction in this way. It's
Yeah.
like, okay, like just because it's in my relationship with her, it's still causing me issues. Like when she's away, like she's my satisfaction. So it's like it wants to fill it with something else, and that's when it becomes harder to take captive of your thoughts. And so definitely this last week has been so difficult, just being like, okay, God, like I know, like I've committed to you. I'm in this moment with you. I'm in this covenant with you. But just like be in my thoughts right now, and like some of the thoughts I've had are just like terrible, and I feel terrible afterwards. But it's just knowing that God's got it, and knowing that God's like just keeping me away from these temptations and fleeing from these sins, it's just been so helpful, and
Yeah.
just been so like its own motivation. She gets back in 2 days, and I can't wait to see her. And I want to build this covenant with her, and I want to build the next 6 months until our wedding on May 31st, just to be in this like this idea of like our bodies are the Lord's, and they're about to be in this covenant with the Lord. Like we want to be 100% pure in
Yeah.
every move that we make throughout our day.
Yeah.
And so it's just like, that's what I want to, I've already talked to her about it for sure, but we just want to just really, 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 we've locked in already. We're doing a lot better than we were.
Yeah.
But I just want to take a step farther and just be in prayer every day about it. Just be really like sometimes multiple times a day because it needs it. Just build this covenant before the covenant with her.
Yeah.
That's really like my goal when she gets back, to be honest.
Yeah. That's
A
awesome.
lot of it, yeah.
Why do you think like you need to be pure? Like why do you heed to that kind of calling that the Lord has, and why do you think he calls you guys to like just be pure?
I think number one, because the Bible says so.
Yeah.
I think that's number one.
Yeah.
But number two, I feel like it's one of the only, not the only thing left I struggle with, but one of the hardest things that's left of my past addictions that I struggle with. Like I've overcome my adrenal addiction. Like I mean, she's been a huge help in that, where it's just like I sit with her on the beach, and I used to always just want to be the guy on the waves, but now I'm sitting there tanning with her, having a great time.
Yeah.
And a lot of that took habit, just getting out of it. And that was just awesome, because now I can enjoy small moments with her. I don't need that rush every 5 minutes. So I've overcome that. And then nicotine, like have not vaped for years now, and just been in that moment of just where I don't need it.
Yeah.
And staying away from temptation, where there are people around me who are vaping, just staying away from that. Weed never was addicted to. I haven't been around it, so I really haven't had an issue with that.
Yeah.
Drinking has just been like, the only time I ever drink is like, I'm 21 by the way, but anytime I ever drink is of age, number one. I think that's very important, above all else.
Yeah.
And then also like the Liberty Way says not to drink, so it's just like following that and just being able to follow that law in a way.
Yeah.
But also like being like with her dad for like we're out to dinner or something like that, or if like me and Chris are on like a fancy dinner date, like I'll get like one or like usually I don't go over one drink. 1 or 2 drinks is like fine because I know like around her family, I can control myself. I don't have to like have more. But it's also if I'm going out with my friends, I'm not drinking because it's just I know I will fall short. Like I know I'm going to drink more. I know I'm in an environment that will make me want to drink more.
Yeah.
So it's just knowing where like this enemy has power over you and knowing where he doesn't have power over you. It's just like that's kind of the best. That's definitely a thing to realize before you enter a situation, decide whether to drink or to smoke or doing whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
When it comes to drinking, for sure. I mean, some people flee from drinking completely if they have problems with it or just don't see it in the same way. And I totally agree with that as well. It's like whatever like works for you and the life that you've lived in the past. Like, I don't want to go through people's struggles and tell them how to live their life.
Right.
Like, everyone has their own struggles and have different ways of coping with it. So, and overcoming it. So
yeah,
people have different struggles for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of struggles, can we talk about porn some more?
Yeah.
It's like a really hot topic right now. Just to talk about kind of like diving into like how it affected you, like specifically, like how it still affects you now. It sounds like, it still kind of creeps up like when Chris is gone, and so like, how did that affect you? And like, yeah, just kind of like, what's your battle with that and how do you fight it or flee it, I guess? And just your convictions on it, really.
Yeah. Oh. Well, it's funny because originally like I wasn't convicted on it because it was so normal in our culture. It's so normalized all the time.
Yeah.
With so many different guys, and it's just like people talk about it all the time in public school for sure. And so it's just something that I just did. I didn't feel convicted about it, and then eventually, like I knew it was bad, but I never felt bad about doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I originally didn't really care, and then it became more of a habit. Like over summers, especially, it became a habit where I was just like every day, sometimes multiple times a day, just because it was just something so accessible, so easily accessible. Oh my gosh, it's terrible.
Yeah.
And then entering college, like I wanted to quit doing that. Of course, I still struggled. I think that I've been free from it from like 2 years now. Freshman year was hard.
Yeah,
for sure. Getting out of that. But I'd say like throughout my struggle, I mean, first of all, talking about porn itself is like it gets you like it has the same level of addiction properties as cocaine and meth. Like it's so addictive to you. I mean, the chances of if you're a man in a relationship planning to get married, like you have 2 times more likely chance of getting a divorce. Like 1 in 3 men struggle with a porn addiction, or like 2 in 3 men struggle with a porn addiction. Like it's so. Yeah. It's just insane to me. And so it's definitely not something that's going away anytime soon, sadly. And I pray that if we can get through, we can reach as many people as we can that struggle with this problem, because it's destroying relationships for sure.
Yeah.
That camera just shut off, so
I think that's okay.
Okay, just making sure.
I think. Let me click it.
Okay.
I think that's fine. All right, sweet. Where were we? What did I ask you?
Porn.
Oh yeah, porn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll just continue. I can't remember what I was on. Yeah, but I struggled with that a lot going into my relationship with Carissa, because it was definitely something that I didn't like know. Like it felt wrong, but I wasn't sure. Yeah, it was something that I just always did, so I never felt terribly bad about it.
Yeah. And
so eventually, like I realized like how really it was just hearing different podcasts and hearing different people talk about just how bad it was.
Yeah.
Was just like, and how much it destroys relationships was really what wanted me to stop doing it. And honestly, like my journey through it was just not terribly, I say not terribly difficult. It was terribly difficult, but it was not as bad as I've stories that I've heard in the past. And I think it's just because like I had a girlfriend, like I had somebody to go to fill that desire, which is another issue. Like it definitely still fueled that problem. And that's why people say like, oh, I'll just get married. Like I can have sex whenever I want. I'll be fine. Like that fuels it for sure.
Yeah.
Like it fuels your sexual addiction or your addiction to variety. And porn is so terrible because it does an unnatural, it gives you an unnatural hit of dopamine levels.
Right.
It's an unnatural level. And so it's like our bodies are not meant to get that much.
Right.
And so like what it wants, it just wants to keep feeding, and it feeds off what's wrong. And so like you end up watching things that you never thought you'd ever watch, or doing things you never thought you'd ever do, just because like sin is like a snowball rolling down a hill. It just keeps getting bigger.
Yeah.
Like it's just not going to stop. And once you give it that push, it just keeps going.
Yeah. The scary thing is that novelty too. Like you were really like into varieties, what you were saying is the word you used.
Yeah.
Like the variety side of things is like really scary too, because the more you get into that and like because the more dopamine you get, like it kind of like starts to like lower with the same content over and over again, you know? So like you need something new, and it's scary because people get into this stuff, which is like BDS and like all this like crazy like type of pornography, like things that they would never have thought they would have gotten into originally. It's just led to that because of the variety, like the need for that to be able to hit the same level of dopamine.
I praise the Lord that I never got farther than where I was at. I praise the Lord that I never got to like a higher level than average, I guess. But I guess I feel like I've heard stories where it leads to like same sex attraction or pedophilia. Like that's why people have those. It's just so many different things where it can lead down deeper roads, because like it feeds off what they know is wrong.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, it's terrible. It's so terrible.
Yeah.
But
Amen, though. That's great that like it wasn't a terrible.
Yeah, I praise the Lord that I never got farther down that road, that I quit before that I started searching things that I would have never thought I would have searched up before.
Yeah.
But you can definitely still feel it. Like I felt it like searching other things. It just felt like one of those things where it's just like what am I doing? Like it felt like afterwards, like what did I just watch? Like if I actually like that's terrible. Like what am I doing?
Yeah.
And so it just feels like that, and you feel so guilty afterwards, especially having a girlfriend, having a fiance or a wife, even someone that you care about, someone that you want to share this intimate time with.
Yeah.
And you're wasting it on porn. And eventually, like that person, like you get anything you want on porn, like anything you want, and it changes your desires for your wife or the person that you want to be with, because it's just like you're so used to like these perfect, like ideal sex partners, and then you go to your wife who might not be like, not saying that she is, like usually to most people your wife's supposed to satisfy you no matter what, but because your dopamine levels are so used to this high amount, that becomes unsatisfied by what is supposed to be satisfying. And so it can reprogram your brain in that way of just like you don't even get satisfied by your wife anymore, which becomes this it's just a snowball. It just keeps going. And I'd say for people who or men who are struggling in that, and people I talked about, like I talked to in my community group, or people at school who are just struggling with it, and people are pretty open about struggles like that because it's just something we've all struggled with. So people are usually pretty open about sharing their struggles. Of course, not everybody is, but I like being in groups where some people aren't and some people are, because then people who aren't can hear the people who are and hopefully learn something. But
have you run into guys in those groups who are just like, I've never struggled with this?
With porn, no. I really don't think, like, everybody has some story. Like, there has been very few people where I've been like, yeah, I've never watched porn before. Like, it's been a long time since I've heard that sentence. And that's sad. That's a sad reality already. I mean, there are people who have said, like, I've never become fully addicted to it. But I get more like, oh yeah, I was addicted for 2 or 3 years, way more than I've never been addicted to it before. So, I mean, it shows you the percentages. It's just like up there, especially in Christian men. Because
if it's a Christian man, I mean, Christian men like don't want anything to do with it. Like really, like are trying to strive for things, because like the Bible and the Lord's pretty clear. Like you don't want to dive into like pornography or like lustful thinking, you know. So like the fact that like Christian men and those kind of circles are like the majority are struggling, like what does that say about just the world in general, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And I think Christian men, it's harder because the shame factor really kicks in. Just studying the way your mind works with shame is really like it leads down a road of just like, okay, I am so terrible of a person, so I have no, like, let me just turn back to the thing that satisfies me. And so it's just like, it just, like I said, it just keeps going, and it's terrible. And it's like, it's so hard because I talk to so many guys about this all the time, and being able to go through conversations like this and be able to talk to guys through their struggles and do just daily steps of figuring it out. And a lot of honestly, it's like, I can say like to people who are struggling with it, flee from it, like flee from that desire. Like if there's, it could take these steps, like take the steps of like, okay, social media, Like, is that causing me to sin? Like, am I watching YouTube? Am I watching Instagram? Am I watching like a Netflix show that has a lot of sex in it? Am I watching like even the internet on my phone? Like, what are things on my phone, number one, that are causing me to sin? And delete them. Just delete them. Like, say, oh no, but I have like my friends are on social media. It's like, I don't like, how much are you willing to overcome this pain? Like, I don't care. Like, if your right arm causes you to sin, cut it off.
Yeah.
Like, if you're, it's so back down to just the basics here. It's like, how much do you want to be free from this desire? How much do you want to be free from this? And like, if you're still contacting people on like Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, like, hey, like, can I get your number? Add it to your contacts. Like, have a number in your contacts. Like, it's not hard.
Right.
Like, if you want to flee from something, you can flee from it.
Yeah.
And like, you can only do it through the Lord. Like, you can only do it like in prayer. Be in prayer consistently. Be in the Word consistently. But just practical desire, like practical daily things, is just like, be away from the things that lead you to temptation. Like, if there's a game that you play that has sexual ads that come up every once in a while and can lead you to temptation, delete it from your life. And I promise you, you'll remove those things and you will fall short less.
Yeah.
And then when you're tempted, you can recognize things that have come up that you're like, oh wow, I wasn't tempted to that before. But yeah, but now that the door's open for it to be tempting, you've seen it, and now you can remove that one too. It's like, you'll get down this path of a list of things.
Yeah.
And then now that I've removed all those issues that I have and those problems that I have with that, the biggest thing now is just my own thoughts. It's just my own like desires in my mind. And the biggest thing was that is like I said earlier, just prayer, being in the Word daily. Those two are above all else important. And then I'd say surrounding yourself with a community of believers, of godly men who you can have accountability partners with. I mean, I literally had a time 2 nights ago where I talked to a group of guys who are all struggling with different things and just asking for accountability and just asking to like, I can call in the middle of the night if I'm like feeling tempted in that moment, and just having an accountability group or a partner that you can go to and like get his number and like ask him, of course, like, hey, can you be my accountability partner? And like, don't make your accountability partner your girlfriend. That's just really not smart. It's just like, I've seen it before. Just
what do you think the main failure is with that?
I think the main failure is with that is like, you're both struggling 90% of the time. And also it's like, your girlfriend doesn't want to always know that you're feeling like cheating on her right there. Right? Like, I feel like that's just not healthy for your relationship.
Right. Yeah.
Like, go to a man or a mentor who you can go to and be like, hey, like, this is something that I'm struggling with. I really respect you and who you are. I've known that you've overcome this because you've shared it in your stories. Like, can you please be my accountability partner with this? And I guarantee you, like, I have never heard a story where someone said no. Like, and if they did say no, it was because of like a reason that was like, I am already accountability like 2 other people. Like, I can't, I want you to find a good accountability partner. Hey, let me recommend you to this person.
Yeah.
So if someone comes to you with that, like if you're the kind of person who someone is asking about accountability, like, if you really can't be 100% involved in this guy's life, like, send him somebody who can, like, be involved in that way. Because they need it desperately. And it's such an honor to be asked that. But seriously, if you can't take on that role, like, don't take it, because it's a hard role to take.
Yeah. And
you'll get calls at 1 a.m. from guys. You will, I promise you. You'll get texts and conversations. Like, I've had conversations with guys in my room at 12:30 at night, just like going on for 2 hours about their problems. Like, it's so not expected, but it's such a beneficial. I mean, it's such a gift from God to be able to be that person for somebody.
Yeah.
So, but if you're struggling with it, like, find that person, find a group of people, find a Bible study, find a counselor, find somebody who you can go to with your issues and with your problems that you can be in a relationship with and also be friends with. Yeah.
I thought that was a solid point you said a second ago with the like getting rid of things that like kind of tempt you, like Instagram and stuff. Because I remember when I was like really heavily like in the addiction cycle, it was like I realized in the middle of it, I was like, oh, I don't want to. Like, I don't want to give it up. You know, like I'm really down to just keep doing what I'm doing. And so I think that was the switch where I was like, okay, I do. And you were right, because you were like, only the Lord can do that. And when I think back on it, I'm like, yeah, I think only the Lord could have gotten me out of that, because like I realized he kind of showed me like how good it is to be in relationship with him, and that was keeping me from that. And I was like, I do really want to be like fully in relationship with him, because I really want to fully be in relationship with like a girl someday, and like marriage and like kids, and like it all affects like all of that. And so I was like, it changed my heart. Instead of being like, I want what I want for myself, like I want something for somebody else. And that was like a huge like heart change for that. So like just being like, oh yeah, like realizing like, oh, maybe I don't like actually want to give up pornography. Like maybe I do just want to keep doing this for myself. Like I do think like only the Lord can get you out of that. And that's hard for like secular people. I don't know how that affects them if they don't have like the Lord. I don't know what would change you out of that, but like really you probably don't even have a conviction to like get away from it. But I know a lot of secular people are like, I just feel like it's against the natural order of things. Like I feel like this is like keeping me from living like an optimal, super effective life, you know, kind of thing. So, but I like that point. I think that really resonated with me. So yeah,
I praise the Lord that it's become more knowledgeable how destructive it is to relationships. It's not as like hidden anymore. So like people are realizing that this is like affecting their relationships, and this is like not good for you. And so like secular people are getting out there more, realizing that it's bad. And I've seen people come to the Lord over that addiction and fleeing from that addiction. So it's just like, it's getting out there, and I think there is change coming.
Yeah.
But it's just going to take a lot of work and a lot of time, because it's a billions of dollars industry. So it's just hard to take into that an account and just be there for people who are struggling. And just like to wrap it up soon, I just want to say, like, if you're somebody who's struggling like with that, if you're somebody who's struggling with porn, like number one, be in prayer. I mean, I think that's number one step. Like number one, be in prayer, because I think that's just like coming to the Lord, being like, hey, Lord, like praise you, thank you for this day, Father, but just I can't do this anymore without you. I can't do this anymore. I can't go through this pain anymore without you. I can't overcome this without you.
Yeah.
Just being in a humble place of prayer, of realizing that you're human and you can't do this on your own. Number one.
Yeah.
Number two, be in the Word. Like I think just starting off with the Gospels or Romans, if you haven't read deep in the Word yet or before, or just somewhere in there in the New Testament, for sure. Just being in the presence of the Psalms is also great. I mean, Job is great. There's so many different amazing places in the Bible you can read.
Yeah.
Just be in the Word, because really, the Word, you don't have to be reading the Word specifically to porn to be affected by it, to be changed by it, to have your mind changed by it, and you'll learn so much more along the way than just getting out of your struggle with a porn addiction.
Yeah.
And then also, like community is so important. Just being around people, godly people, having an accountability group, having an accountability partner, counselor, if necessary, and just being around those kind of people, just godly people who can get you out of the situation, maybe even people who are struggling with the same problem you are. And then four, I can just say like practice mental just connectivity, practice mental just like boundaries of being able to say like, okay, like I'm having this thought right now, let me flee from this thought, let me go like pray over this, like meditate over this, like why am I thinking these things, like why am I processing these thoughts, and then being like, okay, God, like this is something that has no place in my mind, this has no place in my heart, just I want you to take it, like in Jesus' name, take it, and then go do something else, like go play basketball with your friends, or go play soccer with your friends, like be able to escape from that, but have that moment, because if you just run from it, if you just distract yourself from it, I promise you will never overcome that thought, you'll never overcome those thoughts.
Yeah.
Like don't just distract yourself, like give it to the Lord, and then go off, like go do something else, then flee from the place in which you're thinking that thought, I guess.
Yeah.
I think those are just number one important just tips to getting in that mindset. And I've heard people talk about like breathing strategies and just being in a place where your frontal lobe is more involved and not the part that's more of your thoughts and feelings. So
right. Yeah. That's super solid.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Okay, I have two like more questions that are like the main questions.
Mm-hmm.
So one of them is like, what up into this point in your life, what has convinced you that the God of the Bible is true?
Mm-hmm.
He's the one true God.
I'd say, like ever since I was a kid, I knew the Bible was true. I think I've always known that there's a God. I think a lot of me was just like, okay, like I want my plan more than I want God's plan. I want my own desires more than I want God's desires for my life. I think that's a lot of what started off a lot of the struggles in my life. I don't feel like I ever didn't believe in God. I mean, it's so interesting because even like the demons believe in God. Like
Yeah.
they know He's real. And so it's like I still struggled with things in my life because I wanted to control my own life. I didn't want God to control my life. I wanted my control. Not that God controls our lives, but like I wanted. I didn't want God's influence in my life. I just wanted my own control over my own life, and that can lead to. We don't have the ability to lead our good to be in full control of our lives and not struggle with things. Like we don't have that control. But the Lord has led me through so much and has I've given Him so much more control in my life to be like, God, like I can't do this without you. Like I would not be anywhere near the man I am or the relationships I have or the place I am today without God, like without giving it to the Lord, without being in prayer over every step of the way. So just like that, yeah, that's what I got.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
With your specific gifts in the specific place that you're at in your life right now, what is your purpose?
I think like what I feel from the Lord is I've been given number one, a story of just redemption and different people I've met along the way that have also shared their stories with me. I feel like I have the gift of being able to share that, being able to go around to people who are struggling with these things. I mean, I've struggled with so many different categories of things. I've heard from people who struggle with so many different categories of things, and the Lord's given me the ability to be confident with people and talk to people about their problems and have people open up to me and just lead people away from these things that I've struggled with for so many years. And I think that's been it's felt like my purpose lately, like being a community group leader at Liberty and being a temporary community group leader in Florida church and being a community group leader for elementary schoolers at my church here. It's just been so impactful learning how to lead, and so impactful to me learning how to just be involved in people's lives in more than just a hi and a bye on the sidewalk. I've loved talking to people. I've loved sitting with people and going over conversations. And I always come at it from a humble perspective because I know very little, and it's such a blessing that Lord keeps bringing me people to talk to because it's just, I feel like I don't deserve it at all. But it's been such a blessing, man. It's been so amazing being able to talk to so many people about different struggles. And I feel like I don't ever, like, I share my testimony, I talk about it, but I feel like it's so interesting because my testimony doesn't end. Like it still continues, and like there is moments that God has highlighted in my life, and I just want to be in a place where my testimony doesn't ever stop. Like it just keeps going. Like I just keep adding more and more story to my life. And I'm 21 years old. I have so much more life to live. It's such a beginning. Like, and it's just wild to me that the last 3 years of my life, thinking about that now, like last 3 or 4 years of my life have just been so much drastic change that I never thought I'd be here today. Like I never thought I'd be sitting in this seat with you talking about Jesus. I never thought I'd be in a relationship where I'm going to get married in 6 months, where the Lord's given me so many gifts that I don't deserve. And it's all because like I've just chosen to say like, Lord, like I can't do this anymore. Like I can't continue my life without you. And just being in that place of humbleness of just realizing like I literally can't, my next move can't be made without you. Like I have no money in my bank account. I'm getting married in 6 months. I don't know what I'm going to do, but being in a place where Lord, like I trust you. Like you've got this, like your will be done in everything in every moment of my life. Like it's just like, that's just been the main focus of my life lately. And then my purpose would just be just sharing as much as I can with the people around me, just being in a place where the Lord brings me people to talk to, like today, like this podcast, and just being able to always say yes to him and in response, like always say yes to the Lord and the responses that he sends me. So yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. One thing about this podcast that's been really cool is to hear the answers for that. And it always feels like it's like it varies because people are different, but it always wraps around this just consistency of like, my purpose is like completely rooted in the Lord and just like sharing that, like being a disciple and just like bringing it to other people. Like, I mean, if I think of my own purpose, like I can't think of any other better way to answer it than the way you just did. I mean, that's it. Like, you know, I think that's so cool because I thought when I first started this that there would be variation, like deeper variation. Like I knew like the Lord would be like kind of the focal point of it, but it really is like once you're in a relationship with Him, like we all just get this drive just to be like, I just want to share it, like because we knew how broken we were, and just to be like, now I want to jump into it and just like tell everybody that I can about it. It's like, even though we're kind of Americans, like you hear like missionaries going out into other places, but like just being Americans and like doing it with people in your hometown, you know, and just the people around you, it's like, it's still this drive no matter what. You're like kind of a missionary wherever you are. It's not, and missionary is not like this big thing. It's just like this, it's super simple, and it's just wanting to share like your testimony with other people and like what the Lord has done for you. So I think that's really cool. But yeah, dude, you're an awesome guest. Thanks for coming on to do this with me. Yeah.
Dude, this is super fun.
Yeah.
I mean, I just thank you for bringing me out. I mean, this is my house, but like bringing me like to bring the equipment here and being able to like do this and have the bravery to keep bringing it with more people and sharing just people's stories to the world, and who have some people who are struggling. It's just so awesome that you do this, and I definitely want to be a part of it. Down the road for sure.
Well, you're a part of the arsenal, like the army, dude. You know,
so the whole like the Avengers on there.
Yeah, the Avengers. Yeah. Hoping to have hundreds of Avengers in here. Yeah,
I love that.
So yeah, welcome to the team, bro.
Oh, thank you. Thank
you. That's awesome. Yeah, thanks, man.
Oh, that's so cool.